All right, peeps, we're back, and Bob is back. So everything's good in the world. Well, let us try and figure out what the heck we're gonna do, because I really have no idea. No clues. Sometimes I'll have these ideas, they pop into my head walking around the street or just taking a shower after taking a nap. It could be anywhere, anytime. And then I'll have a nice starting point. But otherwise, there are days like today. Yep. And then it's all just downhill from there. I do like the AM modulation, amplitude modulation sound. All right, speak to me, sounds. Speak to me. I need to invoke the spirit of Bob Ross. Let's add a high. Maybe we'll just make a drone today. A wee drone. To make a drone, it's probably about the easiest thing you can possibly attempt to make. Just usually a single, long-held, sustained cockamamie note. Yeah, I said it, cockamamie. That's actually a word, believe it or not. Let's give this knob a whirl. Yeah, titanium white is right. That is the color I love to just use out the box. It's a good starting point. I know a lot of people love to get color crazy in Ableton, but that's usually not me. I'm kind of a white, titanium white person. I'll color things gray or black. Otherwise, I just like to keep it simple. Sweet. This is sounding ridiculous. I think I'm going to shorten this a little bit. A lot of it. I like to mess around with the arpeggiator with the sync turned off. And obviously if you drop that in while a note's playing, it kills the note. Automate the snot out of this. Got our sick randomizing, automation lane randomizing auto hotkey action happening. Bob is looking psychedelic AF today. That is because I'm using the Trails VFX in Resolume which adds a nice motion blur to whatever you attach it to. I do love that motion blur. Otherwise, the video can be kind of jerky. That throws my my concentration off a little bit. Why do you have videos? Some might ask. Well, because I just love to have a little bit of visual interest, some oddball visual action happening. Yeah, it just kind of, I think it throws ideas into the subconscious mix there. And also it's fun to play with Resolume. Yeah, this is sounding like some madness, modular madness from Mars. The 3 M's of 3 M's of success. I was talking to my ass today. And pulling some sounds that last too. I mean, honestly. Just goes to show how easy it is to make some synthy modular sounding effects. Your turn. Alright, let us start moving stuff around. And let's pray that Ableton does not crash. It seems that on this PC, for whatever reason, Ableton loves to work out. My other laptop, my MacBook Pro Hackintosh, don't seem to have the same crashing. At least not yet. Turn this down overall a little bit. Okay. Does this make any sense? Does it have to make any sense? That's the question. Maybe not so much of that boost. I'm just spacing out the frequency at which these sounds are busting through. Grain delay, such a go-to for me. One of my cheap tricks for pulling out some sounds, sound design-esque type of weirdness. All about the sound designs. Can't get enough. Of course, it's what I do for a living, so I'm actually surprised that I have fun messing around with sounds after hours. Most of the painters at my studio, they love to paint after hours. I follow some of them on Instagram, and so I guess if you really love what you do, even if you're making money doing it, you can still hopefully enjoy yourself after hours. I get a modulation going on this that's a bit more, just adds a bit more variety. And we'll go ahead and pull that one away from the any grid action there. It's a lot more sparse at this point. Let's go ahead and save that preset there. I'm always trying to get my effects defaults to be just right. Probably need another gain stage here. It sounds like everything kind of quieted down, probably from this grain delay. Could be the phaser also. Let's check out this final distortion. Sometimes it can add a nice bite. The crackles usually sound garbagey, but when you're running through a bunch of effects, they can actually be pretty useful, as you may have seen. Let's automate this. Cool, and now this one. Love a bit of distortion in there. It just adds a kind of chaos, and you know, I used to listen to a lot of noise music. I usually listen to a lot of noise music kind of quiet. You know, I know a lot of people that make it, they just push the volumes so hard. I honestly think that noise music doesn't have to be super loud, even though that's the general idea. Because obviously, the more cool you are, the more badass you are, the louder it is. Good old rock and roll mentality. Sweet. Let's mess around with. Should have done this one first. It's okay. We will get back to it. Sweet. Wow. Sounding kind of trashy. A little flubbery. A little trashy. A lot of it comes from that chorus effect. Let's just try to play with the resonator for a little bit and see what will happen. I like mode B sometimes. It's a little atonal. A seems a bit more tonal to me. I wish we could go up to 24 on this. That would be amazing. All sounding like some turntablism. I think Bob was looking happy there, so that's always a good sign. Alright, sweet. Let us get our automation lanes set up. And spray. Really do think Ableton could stand to update this grain delay. I guess they figure you're supposed to just use Max for Live, one of the grain offerings in there, but honestly, I've had so many problems with Max for Life crashing in the past that it has definitely scarred me a little bit. I know it's gotten a lot better with Ableton 10, and probably with 11, hopefully it will be even more stable. I still don't like to use a lot of Max for Live in my sets or projects. I love a really tight decay time with a very wet up. It really pushes the sound right behind you, which is a fun effect. This has almost got a kind of Stockhausen-esque playfulness to it. Let's give this one a go. And yeah, why not? This one too. And this one. We're off. The size. Okay, well, Ableton 10 is kind of unstable. That's always fun to deal with. Luckily, OBS, the video app I use, has a pause button in the latest version, so we can just pick right back up. Also, I noticed Ableton 10, for whatever reason, takes longer to load up backup files. Who knows? Gonna have to investigate what is going on with that at some point, but not today. Let me get my little indicator thing here. Pull this over into view. All right. I'm almost afraid to start dragging things around, but I definitely abuse these plugins for sure. But I've never had any crashes in Ableton 9 when recording clip automation like this. So I really, I know that they added a lot of cool new features in features in Ableton 10 as far as automation goes, so my guess is that has something to do with the reason why we're getting these crashes, and I assume it would be fixed. Definitely be reporting some bugs. Center code, but no DAW or audio program or plugin has ever been perfect. I've always wanted to change or update. I always get these ideas of things that would make it better. So crashes are just kind of a part of life sometimes, unfortunately. So I'm adding a second reverb, but I think I might get rid of it. It does kind of smooth things out a little bit. There's a lot of clicky bits coming through from automating this reverb, which we could get rid of. don't want this much yeah, I suppose we could try and just get rid of the whole reverb thing. I kind of like it. It really puts the sound in a space, almost like it's coming from a TV or stereo in the other room. Drop this grain delay in here. Probably want to put a limiter somewhere along the way. Or maybe turn down this utility. Let's try another tremolo. Cool. I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and save just in case. I think I'll just try to start saving before dragging knobs with clip automation turned on. Automation recording turned on, I should say. Clip automation recording. It's always such a mouthful. Let's try to boost the high end and a bit and see if that sits well. Yeah, I think I want to mess with that. Some real metals coming through there. Most people probably wouldn't use an EQ like this, but I'm telling you, if you're into sound designs, you gotta learn to get crazy with an EQ like this. My favorite EQ currently is the FabFilter Q3. Not a cheap plugin, but the way it sounds and for the amount of CPU that it uses when you automate that thing, it is smooth. Also, the Appqualizer by Applesoft plugins has a lot of cool built-in modular, excuse me, a lot of built-in LFOs you can add, and it sounds really nice as well. There's a lot of really nice EQs out there, but the FabFilter one has been one of my favorites. All right, so I dropped in this other MIDI clip. What are we gonna do with it? We could make a beat. There's always the option for that. Maybe some kind of bass. I was hearing earlier a weird growly bass that kind of bent up and down in pitch. Beyond that, I don't know what it is going to look like. And I've never really tried to make a real growly bass with I know that, can't complete sentences today or ever. I've never tried to make a growly bass with operator. But I'm pretty sure with this wave shaper, light going bad. sounds like a motorcycle in some old arcade game at this point. I got a feeling this one is not going to be easy to get the idea out. It's always a tough call of how much time do I spend trying to finesse a certain thing. Obviously, spending as much time as what feels right. Sounding quite wave-table-y. We don't need the white ones for now. I like the high rate. You can almost pull out other voices. Definitely doesn't fit with this painting Bob Ross has got going on. The most serene, as always. Ask, am I modulating as well? I've got the automation running to the loop of the clip, which is one measure, so that creates a kind of rhythm, and then the modulation I've got kind of running on its own unlinked timeline, and that way that provides a little extra interesting modulation inside of the rhythmic automation. So it's nice to use both at the same time. Here. It tones it down quite a bit. Exactly the growling bass line I was looking for originally, but some really rhythmic. It's just a matter of finding the right knob to control and add a rhythm, I guess, envelope. and we can draw that envelope in here. The envelope say like rate that I added is not what I want. Try recording that. Like that take. And we can add a modulation to switch it up. We don't want it to go that high. On this, we've got obviously a shitload of volume. Well, maybe I'll just pull this down. You can get stupid and add another saturator on there. Ferocious, out of control. Very tonal. I like the phaser sometimes in the space mode. Kind of sounds like Corpus a little bit. Play with the envelope. Very spacey. To hear like a snap snare-ish kind of sound coming through. Let's see. Could wish you could see the modulation on some of these. It's not obvious. Because mostly it's bass coming through on that one. Obviously got way too much bass coming off of this thing. for shits and giggles, I want to hear what definitely smooths it out a lot, that's for sure. Try something dumb like multi-band split. Our bass coming through clean. Everything else is going through this. This little hissing sort of sounds may be too frequent. This to only happen every so often. A interesting kind of rolling bass ostinato thing happening there. Where is our noise coming from? Sometimes it's tough to find. Drop a slow and a tremolo. Wish you could play the resonators with the keyboard. In fact, maybe you can, and I just have not discovered this yet. Well, it looks like no, that you can't. Not seeing that track even open for business. Little interesting trick with, let's get it dry there so we can just, so we got the tail, we can just turn this gain up. Just turn the gain up every now and then. adjust the pitch of the resonator so that every so often we get a different drop a delay right after that. Save, and I'm going to try this again. I'm going to animate both of these left and right separately so we get a nice stereo split happening with this kind of melodic. Sounds like some crazy alien jazz. It's got like a bit of a swing happening. A little bit of that. So in the spirit of the alien dad jazz, I say we play with those cheesy hi-hat type of sounds. I'll just add this note in to all of these sections. And we will put a bit of a note gate. Bit of a note gate there. Let's get rid of that pitch, we don't need that. We just... Yeah, and I added a MIDI effect first and then group it because there's no way to just, I mean, I guess I could drag in an empty group, that's true. Several ways to do the same thing. Interesting rhythms. And if we wanted to pull this off the grid, things get a little funky at that point. No denying this is kind of a funky-ish piece. Right, swinging. Gonna animate the attack. exploring. So maybe we'll try a grain delay. Frequency way up, you can get some interesting chorusy kind of effects. Grain delay. Cool. I'll modulate the snot out of this. Imagine that. I want a t-shirt that just says modulate. I don't know where I can find that. Maybe I should just go make some modulate. Looks like that sort of tonal crap coming off of that at this point. Good old tremolo, my go-to cheap tricks. Good to have a bunch of cheap tricks up your belt, up your sleeve. Need something else. Like a stupid ass. I don't know. Maybe guitar. Terrible random MIDI note garbage. All right. I just like the rhythm of that. Bear with me here. Obviously keep sipping that out. Let's get these a little more snapped onto the This is just sounding stupid. Just stupid. This needs a lot of love, a lot of automation love. Sometimes if I don't like a sound, I will try to, if it's coming from a synth, I'll try to pitch it way down. And you never know what jumps out. I oftentimes think it sounds better. Sounds that are really in the higher registers can wear out the listener. We tend to be able to not get fatigued as quick with, I want to say it's like stuff 2K, like 1K and below. Don't quote me on that, but the higher frequencies, the more onslaught of those we have in our ears, the more fatigue we get. At least this is what happens with me. Automate you, fine. Save first. This turn on and off. Just clear that. Just kill the bass. I don't think we need a lot of bass on this. We got plenty of bass coming from other places in this sketch. Let's delete this guy. me quit here. Playing with the pitch bin on a MIDI controller. Sounds like one of those tape intros. Dolby surround. Sounds like a buzzing fly. Sure about the buzzing fly there. This is an untamed, surly sonic beast. Why did it only record that much? I have no idea. It does that sometimes. Right here. Does probably need a little snare. Usually make fairly quickly. It's a generic 606 type of snare. Just a white noise. There, tuned it. Definitely got to add some of that in there. Just slinky tubular, dude. If I have it, maybe it'll be good. Who knows? these. Be free, knobs, be free. Forward here. So we need to create a chain. Add this. Q8 there. Give me that second one. Or I could have a second one, it really doesn't matter. Definitely one of the weirder sketches I think I've ever done. Let's add a hollow to this. That is something I definitely want to do, is automate this. Kind of interesting when the base is cut off a little bit. Give some breathing room in there anyway. Circus music. funky to see what happens when we start playing with beats. Needs some taming. Obviously, all these layers together, it's a bit crazy. It's completely spaced out sometimes. It's quite ridiculous. Almost reminds me a little bit of Matmos, this artist. They do some really goofy sounding stuff. Very tongue-in-cheek. I once had the great fortune of opening up on Matmos, and they are some pretty silly dudes. Get rid of this. Cool. Well, I think I'm ready to call it on this one. Keep going forever, but from humble beginnings. I say I'm ready to call it, and then, oh, I think of another idea. Something that might make it better, probably not. Well, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did geeking out. Until next time, keep it weird.